College Algebra, Topic 3.3, Problem number 6. We want to graph this, so we want to label all our parameters. First, parameter A stands for any number that's on the outside. In this case, it's 1. B stands for any number that's multiplying with x, or the coefficients of x. Because we have a negative x here, it's a negative 1. C stands for any number that's adding to x, and this is a positive 4. And D stands for any number that's adding on the outside of the function. Here is positive 3. We're going to ignore A is 1, and then we're going to, because that's a positive 1, there's no changes. And so we're going to work from C to B and then D. We always go C, B, A, and then D. So we'll start with this parameter, we'll skip this parameter, and then we'll go back to D. Alright, so removing all parameters from here, we get our first graph, which is 1 over x. 1 over x has an asymptote of x equals 0 and an asymptote of y equals 0. And the graph looks like this. Next, we'll put our c parameter on, which is the positive 4, and we get 1 over positive 4 and the x. The positive 4 for a c parameter shifts everything to the left 4 times. So my asymptote, my vertical asymptote, goes back to x equals negative 4, whereas my horizontal asymptote remains y equals 0. And my graph is still located in the same position around the asymptotes. Next, our b parameter is next, which is a negative on the x, so we'll have 1 over 4 and a negative x. Now, a b parameter, when it's negative, gives us a reflection about the y-axis. So this will flip over to the other side. That means that the asymptote y equals 0 remains the same. Oops. But the x equals negative 4 switches to the other side. So instead of x equals negative 4, we have x equals positive 4. The graph also switches to the other side. So now it's going this way. And this switches to the outside, which is there. And now, our last parameter is the d parameter, which is the positive 3. So this will be 1 over 4 minus x plus 3. Well, this will raise the graph 3 times. So my asymptote will go from y equals 0 to y equals 3. And my x equals 4 will remain x equals 4. And the graphs are still in the same orientation. This side right here and below here. Now the domain for our final graph is this side right here goes from negative infinity to 4. This side right here goes from 4 to positive infinity. For my range, this piece right here goes down to negative infinity and only as high as 3, or just before 3. This piece right here goes only as low as just before 3, but up to positive infinity. Okay. Number 7. Number 7, our parameters are a equals 1, b stands for any number that's actually only x, so this is negative 1, c, any numbers adding on the outside, which is 4, and d, which is numbers on the outside, which is negative 3. So remove all the parameters, and the graph I get is the absolute value of x, which looks like this. Next, we'll put on our c parameter, which is the positive 4. So this will be positive 4 and the positive x together. And this moves my graph over 4 times to the left. Next, I'll put my b parameter, which makes this a negative x, and which gives me a reflection about the y-axis. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it ends up on this side here. And finally, we'll put on the minus 3, which is the d parameter here. That's going to shift my graph down 4 times. 3 times, should I say. 1, 2, 3. So here's my graph right there. The domain of this new graph from left to right will be negative infinity to positive infinity, all real numbers. From down to up, my range will be as low as -3 and as high as positive infinity. Okay, number 8. Okay, number 8. I have an a parameter this time of -1. The b parameter, which is a coefficient on x, is 1, so we're not going to use that. The c is -4, and the d is outside here, which is +3. And then we'll strip all our parameters off, and we end up with the absolute value of x, which is this basic function here. Now we'll start putting our parameters back on one at a time, starting with c, then b, then a. With c, we have -4. That means it's going to shift over to the right 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have rules for each one of these parameters. So x minus 4. Next, we have absolute value of x minus 4. And now the next b parameter is 1, so that doesn't change. So a parameter is -1, which goes on the outside here, which gives us a reflection about the x-axis. So now it's here. And finally, we have +3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. It rises 3 times, which gives us a domain now of -infinity to +infinity, and the range will go as low as -infinity and on as high as 3.